We're counting down the 7 cheapest and 7 most expensive TV brands you can buy in 2025. A tale of two extremes where some screens barely cost more than a takeout dinner, while others demand a price tag that could rival a used car. From ultra-budget models with missing vowels in their brand names to luxurious sets boasting features you didn't know you needed, this ranking will reveal what you really get, or lose, at every price point. The names on each side might surprise you, and the reasons behind the rankings are sometimes downright bizarre. Which brand delivers the biggest bargain, and which is pure flex? Let's kick off our countdown with number 7 on the cheapest end of the TV spectrum. Number 7. Skyworth sets the absolute floor for TV pricing in 2025. If you've ever scrolled past a 32-inch smart TV for under $200 and wondered how that's even possible, this is your answer. Skyworth, a Chinese giant with global ambitions, manages to keep prices rock bottom by skipping the usual marketing blitz and cutting back on after-sales support. Their TVs run standard Google TV or Android TV, not some wild off-brand fork. But don't expect the latest chips or smooth updates. In the US and Europe, good luck finding one in a big box store. Most units are imports, with warranty coverage that's either a 1-year question mark or handled by the seller. For a quick streaming fix in a guest room, Skyworth works. But if you want reliable support or long-term value, you might want to keep scrolling. How much are you willing to gamble for the lowest sticker price in town? Number 6. Roku TV is where the bargain hunt starts to feel a little less like a compromise. Here, the hardware is almost an afterthought. Manufacturers like TCL, Hisense, and ON build the TV, but it's the Roku software that steals the show. The interface is famously simple, with every app you could want lined up like digital dominoes. But there's a catch. These TVs are sold near cost because Roku makes its real money on the back end. Each set can generate up to $49 a year in advertising and data revenue, which explains the flood of sponsored tiles and promoted channels on your home screen. Most models rely on edge-lit panels with basic picture quality. No one's mistaking this for a home theater. Still, if you value a frictionless streaming experience over cinematic visuals, Roku TV nails the basics and keeps your wallet intact. How much are you willing to trade for convenience and a rock-bottom price? Number 5. Insignia is Amazon's way of turning your TV into a billboard and charging you less for the privilege. You pick up a Fire TV at a price that barely covers the plastic and panel, and Amazon makes up the difference by quietly mining your viewing habits for ad revenue. The average Insignia TV generates about $8 to $14 a year for Amazon in advertising and data, which explains those endless Prime Day deals and why telemetry is switched on by default. It's a simple formula. You get a rock-bottom price and a streaming interface that's idiot-proof. But you're also agreeing to a lifetime of sponsored content and personalized recommendations you never asked for. Picture quality? Adequate, if you keep your expectations in check. But if you're hoping for deep blacks or vibrant colors, you're in the wrong aisle. The real question is, how much privacy are you willing to trade for a cheap screen in your living room? Number 4. Toshiba is the brand that tricks you into thinking you're buying a piece of Japanese engineering, when in reality you're getting a badge slapped onto a budget TV made by Hisense. Walk into any big box store and you'll spot the familiar logo, but don't let nostalgia fool you. Most Toshiba TVs sold in 2025 use previous generation VA panels, sometimes even leftovers from last year's production runs. The result? Picture quality that's serviceable for streaming, but with colors that can shift and brightness that fades in sunlit rooms. Quality control is a wild card. One unit might last 5 years, another might develop dead pixels before the warranty is up. And here's the twist. The panel and features you get can change depending on which region or retailer you buy from. Fire TV is baked in, so streaming is simple, but expecting premium performance is a fast track to disappointment. Are you willing to pay for the name on the front, knowing the guts might be yesterday's news? Number 3. Vizio is where size for dollar takes center stage. You walk into a warehouse club, eye a 70-inch Vizio for under $600, and wonder if someone misprinted the tag. But that's Vizio's entire playbook. Maximize screen real estate, minimize sticker shock. The company keeps hardware margins razor thin, then leans heavily on data monetization. Vizio's Inscape system tracks what you watch, across every app and even HDMI inputs, feeding a steady stream of viewing data back to corporate, which converts into about $29 per TV per year in ad and analytics revenue. That's how they can sell a monster screen at a price that makes Samsung and LG sweat. The SmartCast platform looks slick on paper, but users report laggy menus and the occasional crash, quirks that come with the territory. If you want the most inches for your dollar and don't mind playing guinea pig for ad tech, Vizio delivers. The real question is, would you trade a flawless experience for a bigger picture and a few extra ads? Number 2. Hisense is the budget TV brand that refuses to act like one. Walk into a warehouse club and you'll spot a 75-inch Hisense OLED for under $900, promising brightness that used to be reserved for flagship models. But here's where it gets interesting. Hisense's OLED branding isn't just marketing fluff. Their mid-range models routinely hit 700 nits of peak HDR brightness, enough to make highlights pop even in a sunlit living room. Quantum dot layers push color vibrancy way past what you'd expect at this price, and on paper, features like local dimming and 120 Hz support sound suspiciously premium. The catch? Not all Hisense TVs are created equal. The A7N might look like a deal, but step up to the U75QG or U8 series, and you're in a different league. Better processing, more dimming zones, and a picture that holds up against TVs twice the price. Still, quality control is a roll of the dice. One set might dazzle, another might arrive with banding or motion blur that never quite goes away. If you're willing to do a little research and pick the right series, Hisense serves up near flagship performance at a price that makes the competition sweat. How much risk are you willing to take to get 90% of the premium experience for half the money? Number 1, TCL wears the crown as the budget king of 2025, and not by accident. This is the brand that turned vertical integration into an art form, running its own panel factories and assembly lines to cut out the middleman and shave up to 20% off production costs. The result? TCL can pack in features that used to be reserved for luxury models, like mini LED backlighting with over 200 dimming zones, and still sell a 65-inch TV for under $800. Gamers get a nod too, with native 120 Hz support and variable refresh rate that actually works. A rarity at this price. The QM7K and Q651G models are proof. You're not just getting a big screen, you're getting serious hardware muscle that punches way above its weight. Quality control is more consistent than the wild swings you'll find with other budget brands, and the feature set makes even mid-tier Samsung and LG models sweat. Yes, you'll notice the plastic stand and the occasional menu lag, but when you can get mini LED contrast and next-gen gaming features for a fraction of the cost, those trade-offs start to look pretty minor. TCL isn't just closing the gap, it's setting the pace for what a cheap TV can deliver. The real question, are you ready to admit that the best value in 2025 might just come from a brand that used to be considered an underdog? Number 7, Sharp has carved out a reputation for reliability in a premium market obsessed with flash. While other brands chase the latest panel gimmicks, Sharp's high-end AQOS models, especially in Japan, double down on specialty tech like IGZO and UV2A, aiming for crisp images and stable performance year after year. The company's marketing likes to hint at backlight lifespans that stretch toward 100,000 hours, though you won't find that number in any official 2025 datasheet. What you do get is a panel engineered for longevity and consistency, not just showroom sizzle. In a world where most premium TVs are chasing brighter highlights or thinner frames, Sharp quietly delivers a product that's built to last. For buyers who value durability over hype, this is the premium TV that puts reliability first. No wild claims, just a steady picture that doesn't quit. Would you pay more for a screen that promises to stick around long after the trend-chasing crowd has moved on? Number 6. Philips turns the living room into a light show with its Ambilight TVs. No other brand splashes patented colored halos onto your wall that actually sync with the on-screen action. It's not just a gimmick. The Ambilight system is exclusive to Philips and adds about 15% to the price tag. But the payoff is a level of immersion that standard backlights can't touch. Pair that with Bowers & Wilkins audio on high-end models, and suddenly, movie night feels like a private event. HDR tone mapping is handled with surprising finesse, so highlights pop without washing out the shadows. There's a catch, though. Finding a real Philips Ambilight in the US is a scavenger hunt, and support can be patchy if you do. For those who want their TV to double as mood lighting and conversation starter, Philips delivers an experience that's as much about ambience as accuracy. Would you pay a premium for a light show you can't get anywhere else? Number 5. Panasonic has quietly become the secret weapon for anyone obsessed with color accuracy. While most brands chase headline-grabbing brightness, Panasonic's Z95 and Z90 series are tuned like a Hollywood reference monitor, factory-calibrated to a delta E of less than 2. That means the colors you see are nearly indistinguishable from the director's intent right out of the box. Professional reviewers and filmmakers still use these panels for grading, which says more than any marketing slogan could. But here's the catch. Unless you live in Europe or Japan, good luck getting your hands on one. Panasonic's premium OLEDs are rarely seen in US stores, turning them into a kind of cult object for purists who care more about calibration than showroom sizzle. So, if you're weighing dazzling brightness against studio-grade accuracy, ask yourself, would you rather have a TV that wins the brightness war, or one that nails every shade exactly as it was meant to be? Number 4. Samsung makes no apologies for putting spectacle front and center. If you want a TV that can outshine the midday sun, their Neo QLED lineup is the answer. These sets routinely hit peak brightness levels of 1500 to 2000 nanites, flooding even the brightest living rooms with vivid color. It's not just about the numbers either. Samsung's mini LED backlights paired with their quantum matrix tech mean you get razor-sharp contrast and HDR that actually pops. And then there's the frame, which doubles as wall art, and micro LED, a technology still so expensive and rare it might as well come with a velvet rope. But here's the trade-off. While Samsung leads the pack for brightness and design flair, it's still chasing OLED's perfect black levels. If you crave a TV that turns heads in daylight and blends seamlessly into your decor, Samsung's premium lineup is built for you. The question is, does maximum brightness matter more than cinematic shadows? Coming to the top 3, LG's OLED lineup cements its place as the Style Plus performance leader in 2025. The G5 and C5 models introduce MLA, Micro Lens Array technology, a dense layer of microscopic lenses that boost panel brightness by up to 60% over previous generations. That means a G5 OLED can hit peak brightness levels once reserved for flagship mini LEDs, finally making OLED viable in sunlit rooms without washing out shadow detail. The Alpha 9 Gen 7 processor powers the show, handling motion, upscaling, and dynamic tone mapping with a level of polish that keeps LG's reputation for smooth, artifact-free images intact. Burn-in risk, long the Achilles heel of OLED, is now a minor footnote. LG's new algorithms actively shift static elements and distribute wear, so even news tickers and game HUDs are less of a worry. The design is impossibly thin, flush mounting to the wall like a piece of glass. For anyone who wants perfect blacks, wide viewing angles, and a TV that doubles as modern art, LG's OLED Evo series remains the gold standard. The only question left, is style and raw panel innovation enough, or does true perfection demand even more processing muscle? In second place, Sony's Bravia and Master series stand as the reference point for anyone chasing the purest cinematic experience at home. The secret isn't just the QD-OLED panel, though that helps, but what happens after the pixels light up. Sony's cognitive processor XR is a neural network in a TV shell, analyzing over 100,000 elements in every frame, from color and contrast to the direction of motion, and even where your eyes are likely to focus. This isn't marketing fluff. The XR engine breaks the image into zones, then optimizes each one in real time. So skin tones, shadows, and highlights all look lifelike without the weird over-processing you see on lesser brands. Motion interpolation is handled with surgical precision. Fast action stays crisp, with none of the soap opera effect that plagues cheaper sets. For film buffs, Sony's exclusive Netflix calibrated mode and IMAX enhanced certifications mean you're getting a picture tuned to the same standards as a mastering suite in Los Angeles. But there's a price for all this wizardry. Sony's software isn't as slick as LG's, and you're paying a premium for processing and studio-grade tuning, not for wall sculpture design or built-in art modes. The question is, do you want your TV to look like a museum piece, or do you want it to show movies exactly as the director intended? And finally, in first place, Bang & Olufsen and Loewe redefine what it means to call a television a luxury item in 2025. Forget about chasing the last ounce of picture quality. Here, the price tag is driven by craftsmanship, materials, and a sense of exclusivity that borders on theatrical. Take the BioVision Harmony, a 77-inch OLED panel, yes, but it's wrapped in hand-finished oak or aluminum, with a cabinet that literally folds away to hide the screen when you're not watching. The integrated sound system delivers up to 450 watts, enough to shake the art off your walls, while the design itself is meant to spark conversation as much as display content. Loewe's iconic and stellar series follow the same script. German-engineered frames in carbon fiber or glass, customizable finishes, and built-in audio that rivals standalone soundbars. Both brands offer concierge-level service, from white-glove delivery to in-home calibration, and the privilege of knowing your TV is rarer than most luxury cars. But here's the kicker. The OLED panels inside are sourced from LG Display, just like the ones you'll find in a G5 or Sony A95L. The difference? It's all in the experience. Artful design, integrated sound, and the kind of status symbol that makes a $15,000 price tag feel like an investment in your living room's personality. So, would you pay the price of a new sedan for a TV that's as much sculpture as screen? From Skyworth sub-$200 bare-bones TVs to Bang & Olufsen's art house masterpieces commanding five-figure price tags, our countdown has spanned the true extremes of the 2025 television market. The most shocking revelation? Just how much the cheapest brands rely on software subsidies and recycled hardware, while the most expensive push boundaries with OLED, micro-LED, and luxury design. Across all 14 entries, a clear pattern emerged. Budget TVs sacrifice longevity, brightness, and support in exchange for unbeatable prices, while premium brands justify their cost with cutting-edge processing, reference-grade panels, and sometimes pure status appeal. The ranking criteria made it clear. At the low end, it's all about value per inch and smart features. At the top, it's about innovation, build quality, and that elusive woo factor. Ultimately, the gap between the cheapest and most expensive sets in 2025 has never been wider, but the sweet spot for most viewers is squarely in the middle, where brands like TCL and Hisense deliver 80% of flagship performance for a fraction of the cost. The takeaway? In today's TV world, informed choices mean you don't have to break the bank or settle for mediocrity.